Very pleased to be joined now by Tanley up against Garry Tonon at December's 1X anniversary show. Excited for that one. Excited that this fight finally got booked. We've been talking about you fighting a couple of different people for a long time, but Garry is the name. And how do you feel about that? Are you happy that it's sorted now and that it's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing was just making sure that we got the contract situation and the money situation right. And it's working out good for this fight. So obviously that played out well and we signed on the dotted line. As far as opponents go, very excited to face this challenge. It's a very unique challenge. And I think it's kind of cool, get a little taste of my own medicine. You know, I present very unique problems and different problems that it's very hard to train and practice for. And he does the same to a lot of people. I think I happen to have a pretty good setup to be prepared for some of the things that he brings to the table. But it was a relief to be able to get past, all the stuff that we've been dealing with. The city's taken a hit as far as Hurricane Ida goes. COVID obviously is pretty bad in our state, in our country. And then, 3 surgeries on the finger, some broken bones in the opposite hand. And then I said COVID for our family. Obviously, we all got it. So it's been, and a newborn. So it's been a little hectic time, but it gave me enough, this little gap gave me enough time to handle all my business. And now it's only Garry on the plate. So it's, it's a good feeling.
Congratulations on the newborn, man. I saw that you've been training with Jon Jones. How was that?
I didn't get in, a ton of training or anything in with him. He happened to be sharing the cage at the time that Ryan and I was in the cage. So, it was cool. You got to kind of see him do a little side work, but really Ryan and I and Greg Jackson and everything were just getting some drilling and training in. And that was that was the focus for the day,
Oh, so he was just around you and he was just kind of in the gym with you guys at the time.
Yeah. Like, obviously we kept an open ear to hear him and his coaches talk. I think he did the same, just kind of, watching us drill a little bit, train a little bit. But yeah, it was nothing too eventful, nothing too crazy. It was just good training.
How do you feel about Garry striking? I think for a jiu-jitsu guy, he's looked pretty sharp actually on the feet. Are you impressed with what you've seen from there, or surprised that a guy kind of who was very, very jiu-jitsu focused has been able to hang pretty well in MMA so far?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the guy is an extremely high-level competitor in his art and in the thing that he decided to put time into. Obviously, he's moved that focus to MMA as well as jiu-jitsu, obviously, because it's kind of mixed in there. But it doesn't surprise me because I saw the flip side of the coin. I saw how rapidly I progressed as far as my grappling goes. So I understand that in a short period of time, you can allow your specialty to kind of help you learn concepts and ideas. Because if you understand martial arts, you understand martial arts, right? Like they all speak the same language. It's just got its own little accent, I guess you could say, creating moments and disappearing on people and being hard to find until you want to be found, like the things like that carry over. And it sounds very Sun Tzu-y, but it's the truth, and I know that for a fact because my striking and my understanding of martial arts has helped me get good at grappling at I would say an accelerated rate. And it looks like it's helped him get to this point where he's at in his striking,
We know you've got a lot of fans in Vietnam, so I just wanted to ask you a little bit more about that. I don't think I've ever asked you, like, when did your family first come over from Vietnam, and do you speak any Vietnamese? Like, how deep are your roots with Vietnam?
Unfortunately, the best I can do is understand some conversation and order food. I'm working on it, trying to get better, guys. Don't get too mad at me. But working on it, trying to improve that. But yeah, my dad and his immediate family came over to the States as refugees from the war. They were sponsored over by my dad's aunt's husband at the time, and then they all came over to the States, which was Kentucky, by the way. That's where I was born, which is a little known fact, I guess. And I moved here to New Orleans, Louisiana when I was 5. My dad, my parents came down here for a 2-year job back in 1990. So we're still here. I love it. It's home.
Awesome. And when was the last time you went over there? Have you been over there, and do you have a favorite part of Vietnam?
So I don't. I've never been. The only time I've ever been to Asia is for fights with one championship. So I'm looking to get booked. Hopefully we do well in this fight. We have to defend the title. When Vietnam opens up, I'd love to defend in Vietnam since it's legalized in Vietnam now. And I'd love to be the first champ to go over there of Vietnamese heritage and defend my belt, get some fans in the building, and make some waves.
How intrigued are you by this card? Like, so far we only know, 4 fights now. We know 4 fights, and all of them are really exciting fights. You've got DJ fighting in special rules against Rod Tang, Bibiano, featherweight title defense against John Lineker. Yourself. Sorry, not feather. You're
bantamweight.
Yeah. But bantamweight, but 145. So, and then we've also got Seohee Ham against Denise Zamboanga added to that one, I think, which should be pretty cool, a bit spicy. So how do you feel about the card overall, and particularly I like with DJ fighting a little bit of Muay Thai in there?
I am extremely excited to be on that card, first of all, because it's a huge card, obviously, and with some huge fights. And the 1X, ordeal and event, I think is going to be awesome for the fans, awesome for the sport. Any spectators, whether you're tuning in on, online or actually happen to be in the building, I think we're going to have a handful of fans. So I'm really excited. I'm really interested in this main event card, or main event fight with the special rules. Man, I don't know what to think. It's I'm glad it's after mine. Let's say that, so I can just sit down, hopefully be healthy. Everybody on the card's healthy, and we can sit down and watch it and really kind of enjoy that moment.
I was interested. Did you see the last Tough series at all? Do you still watch Tough ever?
So I've only seen a few episodes, honestly, just to kind of get a little insight on Ortega and Volkanovski. But I did not watch the season, unfortunately. I did kind of peek in on a couple episodes, but I didn't get too much information on Volkanovski and Ortega like I wanted to. But I'm always doing a little research if I can, if I have time, to kind of see potential matchups. And I love martial arts, so I'm always trying to not suck, and get better and learn from these guys, and pick out their holes and see where the chinks in their armor are mentally, what frustrates them, stuff like that. So it's still on the plans, still in the books, and it's gonna happen. I'm gonna watch it. We'll see what's up.
How impressed were you with that fight that they managed to put on?
Oh man, what a fight, huh? That was it was hard not to be just an overall MMA fan for that fight. Just to see the action go back and forth, see the close sub attempts, see the little mini adjustments where guys start or stop throwing certain punches and kicks. It was awesome to watch. It was great information, but as taking a step back and just trying to watch it as a fan, it was phenomenal.
Were you surprised to see, because, Christian Lee is somebody who's been talked about in your division because he's ranked number 2, even though it seems that he's not really got any plans to come down there. But were you surprised to see him lose his belt and all the kind of talk that came after it? He said that the decision was BS and that it got reviewed and then it got upheld.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with him and his sister. They broke down the scoring system in one and kind of laid it out as far as, obviously I don't think it is as one-sided as they may think, because I'm not a part of their family, obviously. I'm kind of a innocent bystander there, but, I think Christian edged it out, to be honest with you. And that was my first impression. I didn't get a chance to go back and watch the fight again yet, so I still have to do that. Usually that gives me a clearer view of things. But from what I remember, from what I saw, I did see it live, so it was kind of earlier than I'm used to getting up on at. But it was a very good fight. I think Christian moving backwards and being very defensive in the middle of the fight, the middle rounds, kind of maybe swayed the judges, but he wasn't getting hit very much when he was being defensive and shelling up. So, it's I think that's a little different than, let's say, for example, like Martin and I's fight. He was getting hit a lot on the forehead, but wasn't quite catching the punches on the arms. So I think those should have counted a little more. But I feel like Christians were kind of dinging off the forearms a little bit. Not all of them, obviously. He took some punches, but that kind of that plus obviously the sub attempts, and then the late drop, and then Christian's knockdown. When he got knocked down, he was immediately shooting in. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Christian in that situation. So, but it was a very exciting fight to watch. I'll tell you that.
Do you get a feeling about some people sometimes, like, whether it happened with Martin or Garry, that you kind of knew that one day, if it's not tomorrow, you're going to fight them? Do you get that feeling about Christian, especially now that he's lost his belt, that there aren't that many guys out there for you, it could be argued, that are a real interesting test for you, and you could definitely say he's one of them?
Yeah, he is definitely one of them. I've told people this in the past. It's things like matchups like Martin, Garry, Christian. It's cool because I'm fighting the toughest guys no matter what. So that's always a huge, that checks a big box that I need in order to continue my career and go through the ranks and have the same passion and fire to fight. Those guys motivate you. I knew Martin and I were going to have to fight. Garry is another one. Like, whether or not we were fighting for a title, maybe I'd go get knocked out and then Garry and I fight. Something like that happens. He was still somebody I had to get matched up against, just because it's such a traditional grappler versus striker situation. You know what I mean? It's an old school look, and it's really cool. And then I do feel like Christian's another one of those guys where I'm like, man, he's such a good fighter. He was raving about being one of the best fighters on the planet, and definitely being one of the best fighters that won. And obviously I'd like to disagree with that. So we can settle that. And I was looking forward to getting in the cage with him. Out of Christian versus a second title, obviously the second title takes precedence. But I have no problems with if God willing and I'm able to pull all these things off that are on my master plan, then we defend the featherweight title. We do it again, and then we go to lightweight. Maybe I'll take the belt from Oak and then defend it against Christian. Who knows? And we've got some plans, and I'm not stopping or slowing down anytime soon. And I'm excited for it.
It's exciting times. Nice one, champ. I respect it. You got to love that plan, and it's good to see you back in there in December. Thanks for the chat.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.